funnily, around that time, because everything was closed, our school offices were closed, and because of the Republic Day, my hometown is literally 2 hours from Rajkot. It's in the same district, and people, my mom and my family were desperately trying to call my school offices. Of course, we had no mobile phones at the time and stuff. So, trying to get through to this, they were trying to actually give a message to me saying that there's an earthquake here in our town, so don't come tonight. But obviously they thought it was just in the town, so it's funny. But
describe how your feelings were and the feelings of your classmates. How scared were you? What was your emotions when the earthquake had hit and you realised what was happening?
Sure. To be honest, I don't think any of us who were around this side, saw any problems with getting to the center and to a safe point. So no one really thought about helping someone else, but they were all trying. I felt that I should just run for my safety and then just try to.
Was there a major panic around the school?
Yes. There's the other bit, like I was saying, there were more than 300 people in that one hall, and there's only one exit. And what happened then was, this is something narrated to me from one of my best friends. He was in there, and there were a few staff in there as well, because the staff had breakfast with us. And they started the breakfast earlier than usual, of course. The breakfast started at 9, but they've already been there since 7:30. And during the breakfast, there's this grinding noise that I spoke about. They started, because the generator is right next to the dining hall. They were pretty sure it was that. We had a few, and we were in doubt because we don't hear it so loud where we were, but they were pretty sure, it was the generator. So they were just, okay, light hasn't gone, but must be the generator.
Once people were running, once they realized there's an earthquake, describe the panic towards the door.
There were little children in there as well. There were even from 7-year-old children. So my friend described, there were people running out, and there was this. There were butlers inside who really work inside the dining hall. So they all ran through the same exit, and some of the boys, fell down and were stamped over. This was a minor stampede, but my friend did say that there were a couple of senior guys who picked those little boys up and took them to the hospital first, even before running, caring for their own safety, because you never know what's going to happen or what the next second will bring and what will fall and what will not, because once you realize it's an earthquake, then all you think about is your safety. But there were a couple of guys who did, pick these little guys up and took them to the school hospital. So, but all in all, once we were there, there wasn't too much. It was scary, but because we were so many at the same time, and we were sort of used to living away from home. It's like a bit of daredevil within us, because in boarding school we always have that feeling, So it was panicky at the beginning in the dining hall, but then it all settled down once everyone was in the middle.
How long did it take for people to get over the shock of that? Was it long, or a few hours, few days?
In my case, it was when I went home. We slept outside. When we came back to school, we slept in the school ground for 1 month. The thing was, it was pretty festive, to be honest. We were too young to have those. Feel the shock or something, but we did hear that there was one guy from Ahmedabad who lost his father, so we did feel for him and we paid condolences to him. But but the mood generally thereafter was very pretty festive. It was very, you know, we kind of enjoyed the life after. We just after the earthquake, because you know our geography teacher explained, you know, because the earth shook, it's going to come to its level, so there will be lots of aftershocks. In the beginning, there were around 15 to 20 aftershocks a day.
Did you feel them?
Yes,
Were you scared again?
we would run outside. We were specifically instructed that if you feel an aftershock, if you feel something moving, just run to your safety. Even during the class, you just run to your safety. Of course, there weren't classes in the next few days, but for us, because we were the, you know, like a boards year, we were in the final year, and we are doing something equivalent to A levels that they do here. It's called this secondary, higher secondary certificate. So we are preparing for those board exams. And, on the lighter side, we would scare the people as well. You know, for us it was allowed to sit in the class at night. Classes would stay open, and we sit there and prepare for our exams. We'd sit there all night actually, and then go back to the ground where they put these temporary roofs. You know, the kind they do in India during weddings, the mandap. We sit,
like
sleep in those temporary. Yeah, they're like tents, you know, but they don't have walls. They just have to have a roof. And you know, we'd scare each other. We would like you know, go to the next class, and then 2 or 3 people would start punching the wall, like, you know, and they would make the same kind of noise, and the people inside in the other room would feel there's an aftershock, so they'll run outside.